Hello there. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you're having yourself a great day. I'm doing great today. It is freezing outside, but it's nice and toasty in here. And today we're going to look at some really cool flip books. They are from Disney and they are of the 9 Old Men. I've had this book for a long time. Well, books actually. They're little tiny flip books. And I believe it was 2013 when they came out. And it features art by Les Clark, Ollie Johnston, Ward Kimball, John Lounsbery, Milt Kahl, Eric Larson, Frank Thomas, not the baseball player, Mark Davis, and Wolfgang Reitherman. And I hope I didn't butcher any of those names. But they're absolutely beautiful. We won't be flipping these books because I want to keep them in good condition. Originally, I bought these on Amazon, but I don't see them on there anymore. I mean, they're there, but they said they're out of stock. So we're going to take a look at these, and if I get a chance, I'll scan one of these books, and then you'll get to see the pencil drawings in action, which I absolutely love. I love watching the behind the scenes when people are drawing and coloring in and painting and all that stuff, which at some point I'm going to do on my own channel. I just have so many things. When you have ADHD like I do, your wheels are turning all the time, although they're slowing down as I get older. But I've always got new ideas, and I'm excited to be sharing them with you. And I'll stop rambling on, which I do often, and we'll go ahead and check out these books and enjoy them. So let's take a look. Alrighty, so here we go. As I mentioned, I got these quite some time ago. I believe probably shortly after they were published, because I was keeping an eye on these. I have a lot of Disney books, which make sure you subscribe and stay tuned for those, because I have a ton I'm going to share with you. I thought it would be nice to archive all of them and let you see what I have, and then you can choose to purchase them yourself if you would like them. And some are really hard to get or expensive now, but at least you'll get a chance to see them. I purchased a lot of these when they weren't expensive. So, but this is pretty unique. It's like a block of books. Nothing really special on it. Unfortunately, there is some glitter on it now because yesterday I unboxed a bunch of Disney Christmas stuff, and the glitter went everywhere. And I'll probably have it years from now. As you can see, there are a bunch of books in here, and then let me take one of these out so I can get this other book out. There is another book in here that tells you information about these people, and I'm not going to go through. I guess we can look at all the pictures in it, but I'm not going to read any of it to you. But I'll just give you a glance at what's in here. I absolutely love hearing about the old animators that originally started all the beautiful work that Disney has produced over the many, many years. And as they say, it all started by a mouse, or with a mouse, which I have now 5 of them. I've trapped in the house. For some reason, because we live near the woods, I guess, we've been having a lot of mice in the house. So I've set up traps for them. No, not ones that will kill them. I'm a very humane person. So I've captured them in a little thing called Mouse Hotel. And I might actually do a little video on it. It's kind of funny. I tried, one was in our garbage can, and I tried to catch him by hand with a glove on because I'm afraid I'll get bitten. But they are super fast, so I didn't have any luck doing that. And so I put a trap in the garbage can, and then by morning he was in there. He or she, I don't know what it is exactly, but I captured them all and put them in a tote for now until I get to transport them to another location. I was hoping to do it on a warm day just because I mean, they're going to be out in the cold anyways, but I just didn't want to, put them in freezing temperatures. I want them to be able to find and make a new home somewhere. I just absolutely love looking at the original art. And the crazy thing is, a lot of the original pencil drawings are sometimes worth more than the animation cells, I guess just because it's an original drawing. Later on, actually the early Disney animation was all inked by hand also and painted, but later on it was done by the line work was done by a Xerox process, and then they eventually, sadly, went to computers, and now everything is pretty much computer drawn. I mean, they do drawings for, you know, the ideas and stuff to put into computer to then use. But like I was saying, back in the day, in my time, they would make these sheets out. I actually have one of these original ones, not from Disney, but from the Ewoks animated cartoon, which I'll share with you at some point. So please do subscribe and stay tuned for those. This is a sheet that has basically all the dialogue and what frame it should be on. And then the animators then have to do the mouth movements for each word that is on the slip of paper. It's pretty interesting and very tedious. But there's that. Some absolutely beautiful work. Their line work is so clean. I mean, there's roughs at the beginning, but then the cleanup art, which is in most of all these. We'll start with Les Clark. Let's see, which way does it go? Oh, this way. This one is absolutely beautiful. I love Fantasia, so this will be fun to look at. And if you were to flip through these pages, Mickey would actually walk. Let me see. Yeah, I am the right way. I wanted to make sure I wasn't on the wrong side. But here you'll see Mickey walking. Looks like he's going upstairs. And these little peg holes on the animation table, there are little pegs that the paper sits on. That way it keeps it centered so you don't have like artwork bouncing all over the place. When it's on these pegs, it will all line up, and that's how they shoot it under the camera. They'd literally put this on the peg, put the background behind it, and then push the camera shot, and then it would take the picture, and then they would move to the next frame, and then they would move the background if needed, if it's a panoramic scene. But for this, this is probably also panoramic at some point. But as you can see, they kind of, these are somewhat rough. They're not 100% clean drawings. And then someone will ink all this onto animation cells. And I'm going to do some of those in the future, so like I said, stay tuned. We'll check out some animation cells, and I'll work on some myself. It doesn't look much when you're just looking at these, but it's pretty wild how you just put a bunch of pictures together, and it's literally a watching a motion picture frame by frame. And Mickey, I believe, is continuing to walk up the stairs in this one. Sorry if I miss a page. But yeah, basically he's walking up the stairs, and he's directing the brooms up the stairs, or you know, going to, and then it gets, as you know, I'm sure if you've seen it, gets out of hand, and Mickey gets himself in trouble. I was thinking Disney because the wizard in this episode is Disney's name backwards, which I never paid attention to at first until I figured that out. I'm like, oh yeah, that is Disney backwards. But I just absolutely love, I have a really beautiful shirt, two different shirts from different manufacturers. Actually, there's several with Fantasia on them. I had planned at some point to design my own to be printed. Like on AliExpress, you literally can get anything done. And I was just going to have for myself produce some shirts with my art on them just to wear for my videos. This is really, I'm trying to be very careful. That's why I also have gloves on, because I have to put lotion on my hands all the time because they're very dry and my stupid connective tissue causes problems. And I have to keep my hands warm. But I don't want to get any lotion or anything. My fingerprints on these books. So you will probably always see me wearing gloves when I look at books. But this one is quite a few pages. And it takes 24 frames per second to create a cartoon, and it's insane. Just think how many that is. If there's 24 in 1 second, how many it takes to make a movie is just absolutely insane. I think I skipped a page, but I don't want you to get bored of seeing the same thing over and over again. But basically, it's an entire walking sequence. And at some point, like I said, I'll try to scan all these pages. In one of these books, I'll choose which one I want to do, and then I will put it at the end of this video. I'll make sure I line everything up by the pegs at the bottom. But as you can see, he's turning around to make sure the broom is following him with the buckets. And this is just one. There's a large amount of brooms that eventually come to life and get out of control. That's one of my favorite episodes from Fantasia. That, and I also love the Chernobog. That's another great one. Sadly, it didn't do so well when it first came out, but it's kind of, like a lot of Disney movies, became a lot popular over the years when it's been released and such. But yeah, it'll take me a while to scan all these, so I may not post this video right away. I'll probably have to scan these. But look how beautiful that art is. That's pretty clean there. That's pretty close to finished. The only thing you can see slightly is Mickey's ears, which would be underneath the hat. But I like that they do that to understand where the placement would be. But it's absolutely gorgeous. So that is one book down. I think I'm just going to put that up there. And then we'll go on to the next book. Let me move this out of the way. And we'll go to the next book now. All right, I'm trying to decide. I like Ollie Johnston and Frank Thomas were always together a lot. So let's see. Let's go with Milt Kahl next. Sorry, Milt Kahl. And there is the front picture of him. And then here is his work with 101 Dalmatians. And again, here is, sometimes you'll see that they have these brown spots around the pegs. That is because it helps reinforce the paper so it doesn't rip there. You can actually see the pegs through this. So when they took this camera shot, it was actually on the pegs. You can see the pegs there. There are two flat ones on each side and then the circle one in the middle. And like I said, that's to make sure that it doesn't move when they take the shot. And that also helps the animators so they can flip back and forth to see, to make sure that they can actually, they do these on a light table. So they'll see what's underneath the next one. They'll just keep doing this to make sure it's everything in case they're not 100% certain where something is, they'll do this. There are, I think, a few features on Disney Plus that actually show you the process. I could literally sit for hours and watch someone do these. I find it very entertaining as an artist myself. And actually, I'm just going to do it this way. I'm trying to stop the glare. There you go. It's actually easier for me to turn him this way. I think he's, what is he doing? Oh, he's got his pipe. I'm not sure what he's doing in this pose. The dog looks like he's trying to hold on for life. Yeah. My cat earlier today jumped on me, and then I'm like, what in the world are you doing? And then he just sits down and curls up on me, and then I hadn't even gotten breakfast yet, and I'm like, I want to get up and get food, but I hate to move him when he was sleeping, so I just left him there. As you can see, the dog's flipping out. I'm not sure exactly what's happening in this scene. I don't remember. I haven't seen this movie in a while. But it's just wild how... I just love seeing the animation. It's so beautiful. Such clean work. As you can see, these are actually going in reverse because this is frame 101. How ironic. That's 101 Dalmatians. And there he's already off the guy. And now he's on the floor. And he looks happy with himself. He's howling. Look. Yeah, these are going in reverse. Oh, I think I know why. Because when you flip, you start from the bottom and then go the opposite way. Now I see why this is this way. But I didn't want to try to view it that way, just because it's kind of hard to do the opposite way. So you're seeing it in reverse. That's like me sometimes. My Maine Coon always wants to jump up on me when I'm on the couch, but he weighs 23 pounds and he lays on my chest all the time, and I don't always want him to. So I have to tell him not to jump on me, because he's a big boy. And he's very moody, and Maine Coons are supposed to be like really pleasant animals, but not so much with him. It's kind of like, I'm looking at the same thing over and over again, but you're really not. But like I said, he's just patting him on the head, and he probably stops, and then that's when he jumps on him. And that's what my cat does. He always wants me to pet his head all the time. But yeah, I'll have to watch 101 Dalmatians. Actually, 101 Dalmatians was the first one, I believe it was the first one, to be using the Xerox process. So all the final drawings, they were a little edgy, and that is... like I said, they Xeroxed all these pictures. Instead of taking frame by frame, they would Xerox this drawing onto a clear acetate film, and then they would flip them over, and then they would ink them. It was supposed to cut down on the time to do them. It's kind of unfortunate, though, because when they inked them, then back in the day, you were getting 100% true real artwork on the animation cells if you were to purchase them. But now everything's in the computer, so animation cells are going to get really expensive because you'll no longer be able to get them. Just like the first year of SpongeBob. The first year of SpongeBob was the only year where they used traditional hand-drawn animation, and I do have a bunch of those cells, and I will share them in a future video. So make sure you do subscribe. I think it's funny how they put one on the last page. But yeah, I really don't want to, let me see if I can do this without, I don't want to wreck it, but. There you go. I just don't want to bend the pages, that's why I'm afraid to do that. But like I said, I'll pick one of these to scan. Actually, let me turn it this way so we can actually see. All right, so next we have either Lady and the Tramp, we have Bambi, which is Thumper there, and Tweedledum and Tweedledee. And then we have the elephant from Jungle Book. And then we have Figaro from Pinocchio. which I have a Pinocchio book review coming up, so stay tuned for that. And then I might do this one. I love Tinkerbell, so maybe we'll do that one first. Or actually, I mean by scanning. And then a dinosaur. So, yeah, maybe I'll do this one. This is a beautiful scene too. There's just so much beautiful line work in this. If you can see that, look at that. It's so beautiful. So, while I'm shooting this video, I actually have to go get Jordan from school. So I might just shoot the rest of this when I get back. But I have enough time for one more, I believe. Let's go ahead and check out the dinosaur. We'll move this aside. We'll check out the dinosaur from Fantasia. And like I said, I mean, I really don't want to wreck the pages, but if we were to do, let me see if I can get this in the right with light. If we were to do this, it's basically a dinosaur fighting. But we'll just go ahead and check out these. You can see on these original drawings, they have all the information, and usually sometimes they'll have numbers on them, which I believe these are numbers. Yes, these numbers indicate the number on the paint that the people who are coloring the cells would do or use. They would go to the color lab and ask for a specific number, and then they would give them little canisters of paint. There is a really nice book of the women. Most of the time it was women who were coloring them. And there is a great book about that. I will put it over here. And like I said, it's a great book. I have not read it because I have problems seeing now. If it doesn't become an audiobook, I may scan the pages just so I can read it, because like I said, I can't read anymore due to my vision. It causes severe pain in my eyes if I try to read. So I try to avoid that as much as I can. And these are pretty rough, as you can see. This person drew several different things on this, and it's pretty dirty. It's quite interesting that this many here have so many actual colored pages, because usually, at least on the finals, they are not done like this. Sorry, I'm fumbling all over the place. I don't want to wreck the pages by when I'm turning them. But it's a big fight between the dinosaurs. You can see the pegs on this one also at the bottom. I'll have to maybe go back and watch Fantasia again. It's been a long time since I've seen it. Honestly, I probably haven't watched it since the 1980s. It's not like, I mean, I've skimmed through as reference for artwork that I've done in the past, but it's not like a movie I go and watch a lot. A lot of these are now on Disney Plus, but I don't. I usually don't. I watch different stuff, even though I have access to watching a lot of these cartoons all the time. I don't do a lot of time watching movies. I'm always usually doing something, and I have a very short attention span. Squirrel. But just imagine sitting. You got to get somewhat bored just looking at the same or drawing the same thing over and over and over. I always wanted to be an animator, but I never went to school for it. I actually, when I was in high school, I took commercial art, and one of the last projects that we had to do to graduate, I actually did a 1-minute animated cartoon on animation cells by hand, and I got an A on it, even though it wasn't really a commercial art thing, but it was something I was very interested in. And so that's kind of why I became an artist. But I think the T-Rex is getting his butt whooped. Those are some spiky tails. That's crazy. But yeah, got one more. Let's say one more page. Actually, one more after this one. If I can get it. There we go. And one more. Let's see what that says. See, this is the inker's note. Inker and painting. Please disregard green reflected light indications. Which is probably these. You would often see notes up there. This is the production of number, the scene, and the sequence. There's tons of different sequences in the movie. So there is Woolie's art. Very cool. And there's Willie with an Oscar. Very cool. It's sad that they're no longer around, but we get to enjoy their art all the time. So yeah, that's it for now. I mean, I'm going to finish more. I just have to run it real quick, and then I will be right back to finish showing you these beautiful books. Already on to book number 3. Let's see. I want to do these two last. Let's do this Tweedledee and Tweedledum. Let's see. This is from Ward Kimball. Oh, this is Ward Kimball. And I believe on Disney Plus there's a movie or documentary, whatever you want to call it, about the animators in the past. I'm pretty sure. It looks like most of these drawings are all the same. I think they're just doing a dance in this one. And I'm trying to go a little faster. I didn't realize how slow I was going in the other one. This video will be an hour long. But you can always skip ahead if you don't want to. But I figured while I'm turning the pages and showing you it all, I have tons of educational information in my brain, what's left of it. And I like to share that with you. And it's kind of also archive of my own brain. And since I have issues with that, and if my kids ever want to look back at some point when I'm no longer here, they could do so. I know that's morbid, but I wish I had more stuff of my mom and I that sadly passed away. It'll be 3 years this January 3rd. So every New Year I'm kind of sad. I miss my mom a lot. As I try not to cry. I'm going to have to fix my light. I hate the overhead light. As you can see, it leaves a weird bar of lighting across my stuff, and I don't like that. I guess even no matter where I go, I got to move my light. Actually, hold on a second. Let me try something here. I have another light. I think that's yellow. We don't want yellow. Oops. I think that's white. I don't think that helped me any. But there. I don't know if that helped. A little bit, maybe. But anyways, yeah, Alice in Wonderland. Actually, a lot of Disney movies were very trippy. They're very odd, and there's like trippy episodes, like in Dumbo. The other thing is, this isn't white paper, as you can tell. That's white there, and this is yellow, so it kind of does a weird thing on my camera sometimes. But yeah, there's especially even on the ride for Dumbo, not Dumbo, Winnie the Pooh. There's there's like trippy stuff in all Disney movies. It seems like you're on LSD or something. It's wild. I think, yeah, and then it's funny because the guy who plays Tweedledee and Tweedledum in the live action, I believe it's him, is also on a bake show that's on, I believe, Netflix. And every time I see him, I'm like, I know that face. At least it looks like him. I believe it is. But yeah, I watch British Bake Off and stuff. I like baking shows. I actually like cooking. I always like to learn new things in everything I do. I'm also a very creative person and can pretty much build anything from scratch that I think about, or at least I find a way to do so. I wish I had either a laser, not engraver so much as a laser cutout machine, because I like to do, I wanted to do a train set of Disney figures that I want to paint, but I don't have a small enough, like a jigsaw, or the thin blade saw I would really like, but they're kind of expensive. But I would love to have something like that so I could make them. And yeah, I don't know if all the other books had this yellow paper. I just noticed it's kind of odd. But this one is not very exciting. It's he's flipping around in circles there. It's just mind-blowing if you really think about it. Just completing one drawing alone is enough for some people, and these people have to draw very quickly. And I mean, look at the difference in that one frame. Hold on one sec here. It jumps real quick to the next frame. Is these the right sequences? Yeah, it's 104, 105. So they really did a quick bounce there. Some animation is really fluid where there's literally so many more, frames in between, and others that jump a little bit to so they don't have to draw a billion drawings. I mean, there's the distance in there you see, and then now he's there. But yeah, then you've got to scan all these or hand ink them, flip them over, paint them all. It's a lot of work. And like I said, I'm probably going to do some. I wanted to get and do a Frosty animation cell before Christmas got here, and perhaps maybe I'll give it away. Although I have issues with doing giveaways on YouTube, I've done numerous ones, and I've tried to contact the people through their YouTube account or on my own videos. I'll post the winner, and nobody gets back to me. And then, so other things I've tried to give away, I still have, because people never respond to me. If you ever see any contests, please make sure that you're watching my other videos so that I can let you know that you've won those. But yeah, this video is, I'm trying to go as fast as I can. This is like 6 minutes for this one book. But I figured you might like just to see all the different sequences. I just think it would kind of be dumb to flip through really quickly. And at least me, I like to see all different types of artwork and the whole process. But you can always skip through this. And it's very interesting. I'll try to flip this at the end. Like I said, I don't want to wreck the book. I'm skipping a few pages just because I'll be here forever. But like I said, you're learning some stuff as I go along. Some stuff you may not already know. Alrighty, now let's see if I can do this. Like I said, I'm afraid I'm going to ruin the book, so. So it looks like lots of bouncing around. And there we go. Sorry, it was such a quick jump. All right, let's move on to John Lounsbery. I believe that's how it's pronounced. And there he is on the back. And like I said, in the other book that came with this, it tells you more about the people and the artwork. This one is a sequence from, I believe, the Jungle Book. But just his artwork is so clean. I mean, look at that. I'm trying to get a, whoops, let's go there. That is so clean. And it looks like they're basically got their trunks all wrapped together. Because basically they have a parade of elephants walking along. And sometimes what they do is if a character itself isn't moving a lot, or say its body stands still, they'll do a separate cell of just the body, and then the head is separate, and then they can just move that without, it's a lot less drawing, so they'll just reuse the body itself and then only move the head. But in this particular case with this Disney one, his motion of his whole body is needed. So as you can see, this is stretching upwards, so he's pulling away so that they would need the whole thing. But this guy here really isn't moving much, because if you look, these pictures over here on the left are pretty much spot on. They haven't really moved. He's got most of the animation. I don't know if this is how the sequence, it could be done differently than what the sequence you're seeing on this drawing. Like they may have separated two cells. Like I said, I'm getting stuck on this one, because if you look on the right hand side, that's not changing either. So they may have static sitting cells that aren't moving, and just the action in the front cell is moving. I have some SpongeBob ones like that where his body was staying still, and the only thing that they animated was his eyes and mouth, I believe. But you'll have to stay tuned for that in a different video. It's just so fun to see. And of course, with animation, you can just go crazy with things. It's never usually realistic in Disney cartoons. Is exaggerated features that sometimes can be crazy. Looks like in this one, his whole face is expanded from either trying to blow out. Maybe he's trying to, I can't remember the scene, if he's blowing his trumpet or trunk. But I love elephants. They're such a interesting animal. But now you can see the motion over here of this other elephant. And there he is. That's a pretty big jump there too, from the animation from the previous cell. Sorry, not cell. These aren't cells. Cells are the clear animation that people use. And it's so sad that like a lot of the early cartoons, the reason there's no tons of animation cells of those is because they used to wash the animation cells off and reuse them because they were expensive. But then later on, they kept them and archived them. And if you know who Don Bluth is, he made American Tail, The Secret of the Nymph. All the animation is not in his own archive. They're actually in a college in, I'm going to forget. It's either North Carolina, South Carolina, or Georgia. I should know this. I used to talk to them because I always wanted to stop by, but I never got to. They it's in a college, and not many people really, I don't think, take animation classes, at least not traditional animation. But they have a huge archive. They used to put some of it, scan it, and put it online for people to see. But a few times that I checked, they hadn't really done a lot. So I don't know if they stopped doing it. But it is a lot of beautiful work. They have all the background scanned, and there's even sequences from episodes or movies that were never made. I love Don Bluth stuff, and Dragon's Lair wasn't a game that they produced also, and that was way ahead of its time and just beautiful. This is Eric Larson, and this is from Pinocchio, which I'm going to have a Pinocchio book preview soon, so make sure you stay tuned for that. This is the sequence of him, Figaro, sleeping. I'll get a little close look here. And these patchwork on the blanket. And then the background would be separate, so there would be a bed here, and this cell would lay over the bed. So you wouldn't have to, literally, each thing is not a real full drawing. It's just a cell sitting on top of a background that's either stationary or panoramic. In this case, I'm assuming it was probably stationary, because this is Geppetto's bed, I think. Or it could just be the Figaro's. I can't remember. I have not watched. I know a lot about the characters and the art itself, but I can't always remember exact sequences. It's been a while since I've watched these. In this case, like I said, they could be just moving, let's see, could be just moving his head and not the rest of the body, because they look kind of close. I'm used to animating myself. I used to do it, so that's why I'm looking to see if it was stationary. And then they have notes to the either the inkers or the people who are doing cleanups and final art for the cells, because red line, I believe, or blue does not show up. I know blue line doesn't show up when you scan, and I believe black and white. Oh, this particular thing says blue underside blanket. So there's just a lot of these are, like I said, now he's just slipping into the bed. He's probably upwards and then slipping into bed, just falling asleep. You know, you just kind of slide into bed and go to sleep. Because we're all cats, right? I have a lot of cats. I have 6 cats, and not one of them can catch a mouse. But with little traps, and in just 2 days, I've caught 5 mice so far. But it's not like the mice are running around the house. They get in a cabinet, and then they hear them, and the cats literally just sit and stare at the cabinets in our kitchen. It's only one that they get into because the shelving on the floor fell down, and I have to build a new piece for it. And that's how the mice were getting in through there. They come in the basement somehow. So I love Pinocchio. It's a fantastic movie. The live action was not. I didn't even watch all of it. I couldn't. Tom Hanks trying to be Geppetto was horrible. And I usually love Tom Hanks and stuff, at least Toy Story and such. And I enjoy a lot of his other movies. Big was a great movie. And he had some other, Wilson, other great stuff. But yeah, I just could not watch it. It was horrible. Yeah, and I try to at least watch every Disney movie. I won't necessarily go and see something in the theaters if I'm not too thrilled with it. Like, I'm not too excited about the Stitch live action. If it was a new movie, I would be cool with that, like animated. But I do not like 3D versions of live actions. I just don't like them. So, alrighty, we're almost done with this one. I know I'm just rambling on, and that's how I feel by the evening. I'm just tired. All right, let's try and see if we can do this one. Like I said, I don't want to wreck these books because you cannot get them anymore. This one's a little bit harder to hold, so let's try this. There you go. So there's Eric Larson. We got 3 left. Let's go with this one. We'll do Mark Davis. This is Mark Davis. Oops, sorry. On the back there. Great animator. I mean, look at his stuff. It's so clean. And as you can see, this is when Tinkerbell falls off the block. And just alone, look at all the... I'm not even sure how that animation was done there, but if that was a separate, I think these are supposed to be either like dust effects that are laid on afterwards. But basically she's on this, I'm trying to see, is this it looks like that's on a separate piece. The block is drawn on a different layer because it's exactly, the lines and everything are exact on each page. So it was just, she's fallen off on her butt, her back actually. That's got to be painful. But his line work is just incredible. I used to have nice clean lines, but my hands aren't as good as they used to, you know, when you get old. And now the block is moving, so it's different. This block would have to be drawn each time. But these are so clean. Look at that. So clean. Here she is laughing. And she gets a very unexpected surprise when I just love the gags. And the funny thing is, Walt Disney used to pay his animators a bonus for creating gags for different cartoons or movies, which I think is a nice incentive. I worked as a web designer. I used to own my own web design company. And I was a web designer, and I helped create a multi-million-dollar business that I got absolutely nothing for in the end, except fired by the new people who bought the company, but that's for another story. I used to do a lot of work for them, and they used to give us a bonus at Christmas time. And then eventually he just stopped doing it. And then the company kind of went to the shits after that, and he just decided all of a sudden to sell the company. And then I eventually was out of a job, but I'm glad for it actually, because then I went on my own and did my own thing and was happier, because I hated working for the guy. He was horrible. He was a racist person, and I just don't need that in my life. So, you know, I was glad to leave. I mean, it sucked for a while until I was able to get going and get money. But he was not a good person. But every single one of these drawings, compared to, you've seen the other one, not that those other animators are horrible, but you can see how clean his work is on every single drawing. These are like the final ones that actually got inked. So it's hard. I guess all these are yellow pages. The animation paper I have is actually white, but these could have aged, and this is what the coloring is, and they just chose not to. It's crazy how far over this is. There must have been other stuff going on over here that these are over so far. Usually animations are 12.5 by 10.5 inches, and so you've got pretty good area. Panoramics are bigger. There's 16 field, which is usually 16 inches by however long you want. I have giant rolls of animation cell that I really need to find use for at some point, because I hate to waste it. I actually bought it from the company who used to supply animation cell material to Disney and other companies. And I bought the last of what they had, because I intended to originally do a bunch of animation myself, but sadly, due to health issues, a heart attack, numerous strokes, it's amazing I'm actually still alive. But that'll be for another time, talking about that. But just beautiful work. I absolutely love this. Tinkerbell is one of my favorite. Sorry about that. Oh no. Why is my camera being weird? All right. There's only a couple more here. I think because there's a bump here, and it's trying to focus to the top. I apologize for that. But these drawings are just absolutely beautiful. And there she is. And then the last page on here, there's notes. I can't see that because it's too small right at the moment. But look how clean this is. And let's try to flip this and watch Tinkerbell fall off. Also, the actress who played Tinkerbell, I have a bunch of animation cells autographed by her that I originally intended to do art on, but life messed my things up, and I still have them. I will share with them in the future, but here we go. Whoops, hold on. Sorry, let me try this again. It's just hard to angle this right, because you gotta hold the paper just right. There she goes, boop, and then she falls down. So that was fun, that one. All right, I'm going to leave the Beauty and the Beast. I'm going to leave Lady and the Tramp for last, and this one is Ollie Johnston. Johnston, and there he is, good old Ollie, one of the best animators. I have several books that are produced by him. He was very important in animation. But here is Thumper, and I actually have a rabbit, named Thumper. I'll probably show you him at some point. Kind of wobbly, aren't you? He has another friend. I have Thumper and Flower. They're both male rabbits. I had to have one fixed because he was kind of trying to be a little frisky. And I might have to get the other one fixed because Thumper was trying to thump Flower. And I'm pretty sure Flower probably did not like that. So I might have to get the other one fixed. But yes, I have rabbits. Thumper is a gray rabbit. I think he has some white on him. He's really cute. I'm not sure if this is the scene I was just doing the voice of when he says, "Kind of wobbly, aren't you?" This might be the one where he's talking to his mother. It's hard to pick sequences out and realize what they exactly are. But I believe Bambi was put off originally because of World War II. Actually, he's eating something, or going to. Sorry, I'm trying to go a little faster. This video is going to be kind of long. I mean, I don't expect you to watch it all, but I will be talking through the entire thing, at least telling you about some interesting stuff. At least it's interesting to me. But there he is eating. So I guess that's going to be he's trying to bite on something. And then he's, I guess, not supposed to be doing that because his mouth was moving away. And there he is, chomping on it. This is sequence 4.1, but I don't know if that's right at the very beginning. There's so many to flip through. I know most people probably do these book reviews, just flip through the book and that's it, but I like to show everything because if I'm interested in purchasing a book, especially if it's an expensive one, which this probably is now since it's harder to find. I think there's a second one I want to get a hold of. I believe there is. He's all happy there. I've painted Thumper. Actually, I painted Thumper recently. Well, not recently, but I did a painting of him and then received it. Alrighty, let's see if we can do this one. All right. Sorry, these are really hard to do. It looks like he was chewing on something and being told, "You're not supposed to eat that." And then he's like, "Oh, snap." This is beautiful work. Frank Thomas. Like I said, not to be confused with Frank Thomas, the baseball player, who I love because he signed some art of mine I did of him. I'll actually, if I remember, the sample I'll show you was actually the one I drew. But here is the flip book of Frank Thomas. There he is. Sadly, all these artists have passed. But I can't imagine having to draw all this insanely clean artwork so many times over. It's just beautiful. Especially the fact that they're also animating this. That is beautiful. They're also animating the candle on the left that has to flicker. I'm assuming they're flipping. This is moving also. So they have to draw all of this on here because it will be flickering. but this is just beautiful, beautiful work. Most likely this table, although I could be wrong, it may not be. Actually, maybe they probably did do the art of this table on the cell also, just because, oh my gosh, I gotta switch hands. Because the table, you know, could move or something. And they could be coloring this because of it could be changing color depending on the shadowing of the light that's in the scene or just his body moving at an angle. But I think I'll probably scan this book, which may take me a while, so I'm not sure when I'm going to post this video, because it looks like there's quite a few frames for this. But I think that would be fun to do, and I thought you would enjoy it, so I'm going to take the time to do so. So I hope you'll be nice enough to thumbs up the video, and that you enjoy it. Share it with others. And oh my gosh. And it's not because I have gloves on. My hands are horrible anyways. Oops, sorry about that. But yeah, I don't want to get my greasy fingers on the, because I have lotion. I put lotion on my hands all the time, especially winter, because my fingers get cracked and stuff. But this is the very famous scene, as you probably know. It's one of my favorites. It's very cute. And it's funny because it's referenced in a lot of movies or TV shows. They're like, hey, do you want to do the Lady and the Tramp eating pasta scene? And as you can see, we're going backwards because you flip the book the opposite way. And it's funny, you used to be able to get Disney Flipbooks and cereal in the 1980s, I believe it was, because I have some of them. I don't know what happened to all of them. I might have to try to get them again, but they were really cool. They were the wide scene. They weren't square books like this. They just happened to do these this way. This is not how animation cells are done. Like I said, they're usually 12.5 by it's 10.5 for standard. Oh my gosh. But it's such a cute scene. Yeah, these are definitely the cleanups of the animation. And then it's actually someone's job to do an in-between. So say this is the first scene or frame in the scene, someone else would do all the drawings for the in-between, and then there'd be a last page. And then so that's the person's job, is to do the in-between animation. So that one person would come up with the style and drawings, and just the characters in Disney movies are just so good. I mean, those are absolutely gorgeous artwork. That, just the nose, and that is so clean. As an artist, I'm obsessed with these things, so. Yeah, my lines are probably not near as good as these are anymore, which is unfortunate, but I still can do a lot of other things. But they're pretty far apart when we start, when you get through this. But yeah, I think I'll attempt to scan all these. So it's gonna probably take me a little bit, but it'll be worth it in the end. That's what I always figure. I tried to start one of these animation videos before, but I accidentally moved the videos off my phone, and then the software couldn't find. Even though I put them back on my phone, it wouldn't sync to the original files. So I had to scrap that. It was one about Ewok animation, and I had to scrap that. I may do it again at some point. But yeah, there we go. Just a few more last frames here, and we'll just skip to this one. And there we go. Alrighty, let's attempt this. And hope it works out. Let me see if I can get, these are little, you have to get them perfectly to do this, and it's not always easy. Whoops. Like I said, it's kind of hard to do as a flip book. These are, especially when you don't want to wreck the pages in this. So this one I will scan, and then I'll let you see it at the end here. So if you haven't already, please do subscribe. I greatly appreciate it. And thumbs up the video. And I'd like to wish you all a magical day. And stay tuned for the flip book, and then I'll catch you in the next video. Bye-bye.